Warm greetings of the day, students. I, Sucharu Sharma, on behalf of Dr. Ambedkar Institute of Hotel Management, Chandigarh, welcome you to another session of Bakery and Pastry Menu 9. In today's menu, we will be discussing how to make apple pie and brown bread. So what are we going to discuss today? In case of apple pie, I will be telling you how to make a short crust pastry. In the case of brown bread, I will be telling you how it is different from the normal refined flour bread and how do you give it a brown color tinge. Also, we will be throwing some light on the concept of blind baking. Apple pie is an English dessert whereby apple is served as a principal filling and it is served with vanilla ice cream and it is double crusted. It's not a tart, it's a pie which is always double crusted. So we'll be having a pie crust on the base. On the base of the pie we'll be having the apple filling, which I'll be showing you how to prepare, and we will be covering everything with another layer of pie dough. In the case of brown bread, as you can see, we'll be using whole wheat flour, a combination of whole wheat flour, rye flour, and we'll be using refined flour for gluten development. And in the case of brown bread, it is a very healthy bread and all the nutritive qualities are intact in that, and we also will be giving a bit of a fiber content to the bread. Please have a look at the recipe of the apple pie. We'll be starting with apple pie. The pie dough consists of 3 ingredients: refined flour, butter and water. It's sort of a semi-hard dough and we'll be preparing it with a rubbing technique. I will be showing you how to make. The accompanying sauce with apple pie is crème anglaise, which is an egg yolk based sauce, and we'll be cooking it on double boiler till it thickens. You can have a look at the constituents of the apple filling. We are using apple, we are using sugar, and we are using some spices in very reasonable quantities such as cinnamon powder and nutmeg powder. Okay, and for thickening everything, the juices are extracted from the apple. We'll be using cornstarch. As regards the brown bread, I already told you the normal ingredients of breads are already there. We have the flour, we have the yeast, we have the sugar. Other than that, we have whole wheat flour, rye flour, and narrow pan powder. Narrow pan powder is roasted grains which are powdered to give it a brown color to the bread. Other than that, we have everything which goes into the normal breads. So this is how our final product should look like. This is apple pie with vanilla ice cream and crème anglaise sauce, and these are the various products made out of brown bread. As you can have a look at the basket, this is a sandwich bread, this is a country loaf, and these are various individual rolls made of the same brown bread dough. So let's start making apple pie and brown bread. So students, let us start by preparing brown bread. So let me explain to you the ingredients for the same. Refined flour, water, whole wheat flour, rye flour, refined oil, butter, fresh yeast, salt, gluten powder, sugar, and narrow pan powder. So we'll start by firstly mixing the dry ingredients. So I'm mixing the ingredients as per the recipe. So this is refined flour, whole wheat flour, rye flour, sugar, narrow pan powder, which is the bread coloring agent. This is the bread improver for strengthening the dough. Now I have to add salt and yeast. Salt and yeast have to be kept at separate places so that the yeast doesn't die. Okay. So at one corner I'll add salt, and at the other corner of the bowl I'll add yeast. So we'll start by mixing the dry ingredients in the mixing bowl first. Now the dry ingredients are completely mixed together. Now I'll start adding water slowly by slowly. the machine is running. We'll give sufficient time to the dough to absorb the water completely. The dry ingredients are absorbing the water and the dough is coming together. So at this speed we'll allow the dough to absorb the water completely for some time. So at the low speed the dough is all together. Now I'll increase the speed for further gluten development. Now after checking and confirming the proper gluten development by the window pane test, now is the time for adding the fats, which are butter and refined oils in our case. Butter, and oil. And now at the low speed, I'll turn on the machine for the proper incorporation of fats. The dough is developed now. I'll start transferring the dough to the bowl. But before that, I'll oil the bowl well so that the dough doesn't stick to it. As you can see, the proper gluten development is there. With a scraper, so the dough is now transferred to a bowl which has been oiled before. Now is the time for bench proving. So a proving cabinet is ready. So let's say for 20 to 25 minutes I'll prove it till the size doubles up. So this is a proving cabinet. The temperature around 28 to 30 degrees centigrade and the relative humidity around 65%. So till the time our bread is proving, we start with the pie dough preparation for the apple pie. So the ingredients for the same are refined flour, some sugar, chilled butter for the rubbing purpose, and some water. So I need to rub it before, okay? But before that, hygiene first. I need to sanitize my hands. So I sanitize my hands and wait for a few seconds. So we'll start preparing the pie dough with the rubbing method. So rubbing method, everything will be combined together. The fat will be rubbed together with the flour, okay, till it resembles the breadcrumb consistency. So let's start. To the bowl, I'll start adding flour, some amount of sugar. I'll start mixing this sugar with the flour. And now the butter. The butter has to be chilled, as I told you before, for proper rubbing texture. And now with properly sanitized hands, I'll start rubbing with my fingers. So now you can see the fat has been mixed properly, or rubbed properly rather, with the flour, and it's resembling like breadcrumbs. Okay, now is the time to add water. We add very little water just to bind the dough. It is a short crust pastry, and in no way we are to develop much gluten like bread. So now you can see the dough is all together. I took special care not to over knead the dough, because our objective was not to develop gluten. Now it has all come together like a proper dough. Now is the time to put it to rest. So I'll wrap my dough. With a cling wrap, so that it doesn't dry up in the refrigerator. So I properly wrap the dough together in a bowl, and now is the time to refrigerate it and rest it for 10 to 15 minutes in a refrigerator. We'll now start by preparing the apple pie filling. The ingredients for the same are: we have some hard apples which have been peeled, cored and diced. We have cornstarch to thicken up the syrup, some sugar to sweeten up the pie filling, some raisins for additional flavors. Obviously cinnamon does go with any apple dish. We have some butter to cook the apples and some water to mix in the corn flour. So we'll start cooking our apples now. Butter, allow the butter to melt. Once the butter is melted, we'll add the apples. Little sugar, now what will happen after adding sugar? The sugar will draw out the juices out of the apples. Now we'll wait for that time till the apples are being cooked and the water is drawn out of the apples. Now as you can see, the sugar has drawn out the apple juices out of it, but these juices can turn the pie dough soggy. So we need to thicken the juices. So for that we need to prepare our cornstarch slurry. While the juices are simmering, I'll mix in the corn flour into the water to prepare the slurry, and to the boiling juices I'll add the cornstarch slurry all at once. The moment I added the slurry to the juices, it began to thicken up. Now this is a very important step. We have the apple flavor and we have the thickened syrup, so that the pastry dough doesn't get soggy. Now we'll add all the remaining ingredients all at once. The remaining sugar, little bit of raisins, and very carefully measured cinnamon. Yes, cinnamon is an important ingredient, but we also need to take care of the quantity of the cinnamon so that our final pie filling doesn't get soggy, bitter. We'll cook it for another minute. I can feel the fragrance of cinnamon. the filling is ready. So now, while our pie dough is resting in the refrigerator and the apple pie filling is coming to the room temperature, I'll take out the dough which has already been fermented and doubled up and start preparing. So as you can see, the dough has doubled up. I'll turn it down on the table now. But before that, I need to dust up my cleaned table a little more so that the dough doesn't stick to the table. So I turn down the dough. As you can see, it's clearly inflated and doubled up in the volume. So the bench fermentation process we are through with. Little flour on the top of it as well. So after the bench proving process, now the time for the knockback process. Just to take out the excess air out of the dough, very lightly we need to knock it back and fold it together. And yes, all this I'm doing with properly sanitized hands. Do not forget that. Do not forget to sanitize your hands before touching any food product. That is of utmost importance. So now you can see I have degassed my dough. Okay. Now is the time to shape it and weigh it properly. Well, now is the time to scale the dough for our different shapes. We'll be making 4 different variations out of the brown bread dough, as you can see. First would be the country loaf. It would be weighing 250 grams dough. We'll be making a sandwich loaf or 400 gram dough weight. And we'll be making 2 different shapes of rolls, individual rolls, each weighing 35 grams. So let me divide the dough. So after a little bit of dusting with a scraper, so we have a 250 grams dough. A variation of 2 to 3 grams up and down is allowed. I'll keep it on the well floured surface. Now for the sandwich bread, 400 grams. The dough has to be cut very carefully, not to destroy the gluten. And now some individual rolls, 35 grams each. 30 to 35 will be due. So now we are done dividing the dough and we'll start by shaping them now. So we'll start by shaping the country loaf first. So this is a country loaf dough. After dividing the dough also, I have given them proper rest so that the gluten is relaxed. I can shape them properly. So this is the dough for the country loaf. I'll invert it and bring everything to the center. And by my hands, by my palms rather, I will make a tight round out of it so that it doesn't open up while proving. Okay, you can see it's a tight round ball. Okay, I'll slowly pick it up and apply some seeds and place it on the tray. So I carefully place the tray. The next is the sandwich bread, sandwich loaf. This is a bread tin. With a pastry brush, I'll carefully brush the insides of the tin so that it becomes easier for me to take out the bread afterwards. But not too much of oil has to be applied, just a gentle layer of oil. This is our dough for the sandwich bread. It's weighing 400 grams. A little dusting of flour. Again, inverting the dough back and tightly rolling it. As you can see, the shape is entirely different from the country loaf. But yes, the rolling has to be tight in a cylindrical shape. And on it I will be applying my multigrain seeds. I will be rolling it into the multigrain seeds completely all around and taking care of the seam side which is down. Place it carefully in the bread tin. So now two shapes are ready. We'll start with the rolls. One thing I need to tell you that I am doing everything in a very hygienic condition. I am always sanitizing my hands in between the work. So these are the rolls weighing 30 to 35 grams each. Either you can do it on a table in a round fashion. You need to make round rolls, tight rolls, okay? They shouldn't be loose. Now start placing the rolls with a little distance between them. If it's sticking in between, you can apply a little oil on your hands. Okay, not much. And then again you will start with. This is a considerably wet dough, so nothing to worry. It shouldn't be sticking much. But if it's a dough with high hydration, it's good. It will give you a good crumb texture. Okay. So I'm continuing by making my rolls, as you can see, on a clean surface, and I'm coming out with proper tight rolls. So now you can see I have prepared the shape 1 of the rolls. Okay, now we'll start with the second shape of the rolls. Now we are making the second shape out of a similar manner. We'll roll it, little flour dusting, and fingers. We'll point out the edges, as you can see. Place them carefully on the tray. So now, as we are ready with the shaping process as well, now we'll go for the final proofing process. So the proofing chamber is ready. So another 35 to 40 minutes till the rolls double up. So while our breads are getting cooled, we'll take them out within half of the session and we'll move to the scoring stage. So I'll try to give different scoring patterns. So the country loaf, as the seeds are on it, with equal depths. You need to be very careful with the scoring. While baking, the breads will expand and the air inside will try to tear off the bread. So I am giving it away so that the excessive air that moves away from the space. Okay, so that is why the scoring process is done. It's a very important step. So other than the air concept, the concept of decoration tries to make the breads more decorative, eye appeal as well. Okay, but you need to have a very sharp blade for that, no knife. And the cuts have to be very smooth. I will place it here. For the rolls, I will dust some flour. On this roll, I had poured a little excess flour, so this should be avoided. The other rolls you can see, the flour pattern should be that. Okay, now post this dusting of flour, I'll give the scoring. Yes, sometimes the bread might pull together with the scoring, so that has to be avoided because we are handling a very delicate product at the moment. It's full of air. So the closer you go to the blade, the better hold you will get. That way. Okay? So as I told, the closer you hold the blade, the better the gaseous will be, and the better the scoring will be. Now the third. Open up from the place where I stored them, okay, after baking. Now I will put them back to the remaining cooling session. Now another 10 minutes let's take for cooking, and thereafter we shall be baking the breads. So now while the breads are undergoing final fermentation process, as you can see the pie dough has sufficiently rested and it's warm. I'll start assembling the apple pie. Okay, I'll start by rolling the pie dough. 3 to 4 mm thickness should be there. So I'll dust some flour on my silicone mat. I'll place my pie dough. Again, I do a little bit of dusting onto it. And by applying equal pressure everywhere, I'll start by rolling it. turning and twisting the dough within the session, and wherever it is thick, I'll roll it to bring out the equal thickness. Care should be taken that not much of dusting flour is applied, otherwise it will make the pie dough very tough. You have to feel the thickness. Shouldn't be too thin and shouldn't be too thick. Okay, so the center part is of the appropriate thickness. With the help of a cookie cutter, I'll start cutting it. What you can do is you can also dip your cookie cutter little in the flour. And cut around it. See how easily you can take the cut dough out of the silicone bag. Okay. Now this is the thickness approximately. I take a mold. You can take any mold, and I'll this fashion I'll apply the dough on it. Pressing it very gently with my hands. I will not give it excessive pressure. As you can see, the pastry has lined up properly in the pie mold, and I'll fill it up with a filling now. Not too much of less filling and not too much of excessive filling should be there. That's it. Now, with the help of another cookie cutter, I cut the top for the covering of the pie dough. Place it gently. And turn it in. We have to seal it very carefully, pinching it. Pinching of both the bases is very important, the base and the top. Otherwise, the juices will come out of the pie mold. As you can see, this has been properly sealed. Okay. The pastry shells have been lined properly and filled with the apple filling, and now they are ready for the baking. The sealing and crimping of the pie dough is also done. The breads are completely fermented now, proofed completely, and I'll preheat the oven at 200 to 220 degrees centigrade for further baking of the breads. In case the flour gets absorbed, we can do further dusting. We need to get a rustic appeal on the rolls. Just a light, drop of flour will do. That's it. And in the meanwhile, I'll preheat my oven. So, as this is the soft dough, I would not be doing any steaming on it. So now it's preheating for 220 degrees centigrade. The oven is on at the desired temperature, and I'll start putting my rolls for the baking process. You have to be a little quick to add your breads to the oven, but at the same time care should be taken not to deflate the breads. In the meanwhile, while our breads are under baking, I'll give a finish touch to the apple pie. I'll milk wash them lightly. Not much of the milk wash is to be applied. And also I will give a small vent for the air to escape in the center. So the bread is about to bake in 5 seconds. That was around 10 to 12 minutes of baking, ranging from size to size. Very carefully we have to take out the breads. Just look at the rustic brown color on the bread, how beautifully it is baked. Your rolls. And I have set the alarm for the 200 degrees centigrade oven preheating for the apple pie as well. Breads are now placed on the cooling rack for cooling. As you can have a look, all the breads have been neatly arranged on the cooling rack. The cooling rack allows the air to escape from both top and bottom of the bread, so that the bread does not get soggy from it. The oven is also ready at the set temperature of 200 degrees centigrade for the apple pie to be baked. So I'll put the apple pie to baking now. So for around 10 minutes at 200 degrees centigrade, I think my apple pie will get baked. While our apple pie is in the oven in the baking process, I'll tell you how to prepare the accompanying sauce, which is crème anglaise. The ingredients for crème anglaise sauce are egg yolks, sugar, milk, and vanilla pod. So what I'll do is, I prepared a double boiler. The water is simmering. I'll pour in the milk in the pot. I poured in the milk for heating, and also along with the milk I put in the vanilla pot. I'll slit it. And scrape it through along with the bean. Okay, so the milk will get the flavor of the vanilla, and in the bowl the egg yolks, along with caster sugar, the yolks will thicken up with the sugar. I'll take out the bean, start pouring the milk. Whisking continuously. So you can see I am pouring the hot scalded milk on the yolks and the crushed sugar mixture and mixing it. Now this is a comparatively liquidy mixture. This is not having a sauce consistency. The work of whisker is over now. We don't need extra aeration. Okay, so I'll switch over to the spatula. In the meanwhile, I'll have to stop the work and look for the pies now. It needs a further baking of a minute. Okay. In the meanwhile, as I was saying, the sauce is a little bit of liquid consistency, so I'll place my container on the double boiler. And care should be taken that water should not touch the base of the bowl. Okay, this is not water bath, this is double boiler arrangement. Okay, the steam from the hot water will be cooking the sauce, so this will take some time. The yolks will coagulate and thicken up this sauce in around 12 to 15 minutes, and constantly stirring in between. So now, as you can see, after a span of around 12 to 15 minutes, the sauce have thickened up very neatly, and you can see the vanilla into it, pouring the seeds into it. Okay, the consistency, let's have a look at the consistency. It's all coating at the sides of the bowl as well. Okay, now this is what we need, the coating consistency. And yes, I think our pies have also baked. The sauce is baked, the sauce is cooked, the pies are baked. Now we are starting with the final dessert presentation of a dessert, apple pie. The elements for the same are creme anglaise sauce, and apple cheese as a garnish, some cookie crumble, a sprig of mint, vanilla ice cream, a sugar garnish thread, and obviously an apple pie. So we'll start by pouring the sauce onto the plate, onto a dessert plate. So in a very beautiful fashion, I'll pour in my sauce. Carefully pick up my dessert, place it at the other end of the sauce. Pick up a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Place it on a plate. Place some cookie crumble alongside the vanilla scoop. This will add some added crunch to the dessert. Try to place a small apple chip along with. I'll insert the chip into the ice cream scoop. Pick up a sugar garnish. Carefully insert the garnish. And I'll take out a vanilla sprig, mint sprig. Place it for an added green effect. So here is my plating of apple pie. I hope you like it. I'm sure you have completely understood the process of making the complete menu, and you can repeat the same on your own now. Thank you so much for viewing the session.